Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I got an email saying that my email is about to be shut off unless I logged in and gave them a bunch of personal information, which seemed like a reasonable deal, but in retrospect, I recognized it was, of course, a scam. They were fishing for information. They wanted access to my email. I have no idea who sent that email or why. I have been bombarded with it ever since, so apparently it's a popular scam. And it must be yielding some results to somebody, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it, I wouldn't think. But anyway, it made me think of that when yesterday I got a voicemail at my office. I was on the other line, as we say, and I saw the little red light pop on indicating I had a voicemail, so when I hung up the phone, I hit my voicemail button, and here is the message I heard.
Greetings. This is an automated message from the Disconnection Department of DTE Energy, Electricity Company, to inform you that you will be experiencing a disconnection of service today within 30 minutes due to non-payment on the account. Please press 1 to speak with a representative. Thank you.
Now, there's a whole bunch to unpack there, as I like to say. But the point is that it's allegedly a phone call from DTE Electricity. And DTE, of course, is the power company in Michigan, one of the power companies in Michigan. And DTE actually is Detroit Energy. But, of course, the scam call was kind enough to identify that Detroit Energy, DTE Energy, also is electrical and sells electricity, because that's how they're going to shut the electricity off. Now, there's a variety of problems here, not the least of which is that I received this call at my office. And my office is in a building, and we pay rent to the owner of the building. I do not own my office building. I also do not pay an electrical bill on my office because that's baked into the rent. So I've never gotten a DTE Energy electric bill at my office. So obviously, this is a misplaced phone call in that respect. There's a whole bunch of other problems here. And some of you might be wondering, why would they call Detroit Energy DTE? What's the T stand for? And I'll admit, I was curious too when I looked it up this morning, because I've mentioned before, Pine Knob is a venue outside of Detroit that got renamed in recent years DTE Energy Theater. And us old schoolers simply call it Pine Knob. It's shorter, and that's what we went to when we were kids. Saw bands there. And so DTE, the question is, what does the T stand for? Well, it turns out that DTE was the stock ticker symbol, DTE. So when they decided to change it from Detroit Edison, which is what the original company was called back in the day, they went to DTE and then DTE Energy. So Detroit Edison became DTE Energy. So the T actually doesn't stand for anything in that sense. It's not an initial. But it is, in fact, an electricity company. They do sell electricity. They just don't sell it to me, okay? And that's the comical part, because somebody's going to say, well, Steve, but what about the places that you do live? That you don't live in a cave, right? You actually have electrical power coming in somewhere? Yeah, I don't get it from DTE. There's actually a couple other big vendors of power in Michigan. And I don't think I've ever had DTE utilities. I don't think I ever have. I think I've always gone with the other biggie in Michigan. Although one time I actually went with a very small company. A very small company. But there are more than one utility providing electricity. So, but comically, the idea that they suggest that there is a crew standing by and is going to come by and shut off service within 30 minutes shows you that this is coming from out of the country. Because no one who lives in America would ever believe that a utility company is going to do anything within a 30-minute window and get it right. That's that, my friends, is so far beyond comedy, it's science fiction. The idea that, yes, there's a 30-minute window of time, and they're going to be out there, and they're going to do something, and they're going to accomplish their task in 30 minutes. No, that's not possible. So I suspect that this is somebody in a third world country or on the other side of the planet who put this scam together. And they thought, well, in America, I wonder how long it takes to shut power off. Well, 30 minutes. I bet the power companies in America can shut power off in 30 minutes, not knowing that America might seem advanced in many ways from whatever country this scam is originating, but that's not something we've perfected. We've not perfected yet getting utilities to show up places on time. Now, it does say, due to non-payment on the account, and again, I have to remind people that this is a scam, and some people might fall for this. They get the phone call and they press the button and somebody goes, yeah, your power's about to get shut off. But in Michigan, before they shut your power off, they have to send you notices and so on. And they never give you a 30-minute window within which to respond. What if you're not home? What if I didn't hit play on this recording for 30 minutes? I guess I couldn't listen to it because my power would be out and I couldn't hear my voicemails. And I'd wonder, why did my power go out? I wonder. And then when I got the power turned back on again, I'd hit play and I go, oh, that makes sense. It was due to non-payment on the account. So the sad part is that I got this as a recording and a message. I did not get to press 1 to speak to a person. But I suspect if I had, I would have gotten somebody who'd say, yes, we are the electrical bill department and the shut-off department, and you are about to be shut off because you owe money. Of course, real question is, would they know who I was? Because obviously they're going to shut my power off. They'd have to know who I am, what my account number is, and so on. So I have a sneaky feeling if you actually pressed 1 and asked to speak to a person, somebody get on the line and say, yeah, who am I speaking to? You go, make up a name. I always pick on Bob Smith, so I won't. I'll say I'm, Bill Johnson. Bill Johnson. Sorry, Bill. And they'd say, okay, Bill, yes, we have you right here. As if that's enough to find out who I am and where my bill is overdue. And then, of course, they would steal my financial information and rob me that way. The real question, I guess, is, they probably couldn't take credit cards, could they? Because that could get reversed. They'd probably say you need to pay this with an iTunes gift card. And again, when you've got the flow chart of choices and decisions in the decision tree or the flow chart or whatever you want to call it, and it starts up here and it gets down to somewhere, can you pay with an iTunes gift card? You can hang up because there's not a legitimate service on earth that lets you pay that way. Now, you might say, Steve, the question is, where did this call come from? And I can tell you because at the beginning of the voicemail, I'm playing this out of order. I heard this first, but here is what I heard.
Message 2 was received from 31347747747 on Monday, August 10th at 11:59 a.m. Greetings. This is an automated message.
You'll notice, of course, it's a phone call coming in from a number that's got a bunch of 4s and 7s in it. And now here's the weird part. I did look it up. And DTE has a phone number with a lot of 4s and a lot of 7s in it. But it's not an area code 313. It's an area code 800. It's a toll-free number. Obviously, the power company's going to have a toll-free number you can call to pay your bill, avoid disconnection, whatever your needs may be. But it's not a 313 number. 313, of course, is the Detroit Exchange, but it would be a toll-free number. In fact, it is. But what appears to have happened here is that the scammers asked themselves, how can we make this look real? And they decided to use a number that looks like DTE's number, but they dropped the toll-free part off of it and stuck in the Detroit Exchange. So then, of course, the question is, what happens should you dial the number that this phone call allegedly came from? And I can tell you because that's what I did next.
You have reached a non-working number at 1-800-CAR-ACCIDENT.
And as noted, that's not DTE Electrical. It's not DTE Energy. It's just some other company who sadly had their phone number being spoofed for a while. And it's a non-functioning number. And I suspect they figured that out before they started running the scam. Because whenever a call comes in on a spoofed number, I'll often call the number back just to see what happens. And it's almost always, this number's been disconnected, this number's blah, blah, blah. This is a non-functioning number, and so they must have a way of finding non-functioning numbers and setting them up that way. But this was the first version of this I've encountered. And like I said, I couldn't get ripped off by it at all because I didn't speak to anybody, and I got it as a message and I couldn't return the phone call. The strange part is that there are scammers out there who leave messages to numbers that do work. And that's the one, for instance, that your social security number is about to be disabled because we found a car burning on the Texas-Mexican border with your name involved somehow in some kind of scam. And if you don't call us back, and they give a number and you can call them back. But I suspect that number is being recycled very, very quickly, and a day later it'll get disconnected. Now, why that number can't be traced, I don't know. But obviously the incoming spoof numbers can't be traced because they've been spoofed in such a way that... So there you go. My energy's about to get cut off. But the lights are still on, so I must be doing something right. Questions or comments, put them below. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. And by the way, I get asked this all the time. Steve, whenever you do edits, and we can see the edits, sometimes they're smooth, sometimes they're not, but I try to blend them in such a way that makes them smooth. I've had people say, Steve, why don't you put the outtakes at the end? Wouldn't that be funny? Like a Smoking the Bandit kind of thing? And no, the outtakes aren't that funny. It's usually me misspeaking or something. But in this case, there was a real sloppy edit, I suspect, right before I ended, and I had a sneezing fit. I'm going to admit that right now. So I got halfway through a sentence, and I started to sneeze. So I then finished my sneezing fit, repeated the sentence, and ended the video. So I won't show that because it's not funny. But I'm just letting you know. So if you stuck it out this long, you deserve to know the answer to that question. So there you go. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. What's worse than raining cats and dogs? Hailing taxi.